It's me.
No, still sucks. Howdy, y'all. I am Adam, the Renaissance Nerd, and welcome once again to my Amazon's Wheel of Time episode review. Specifically today, episode 7. Now, I'm going to be honest. I didn't yell and scream at the monitor here as much as I normally have in the past several weeks when watching this stuff. There were still a few outcries of, "Oi!" But it was less because, let's be honest, this episode was, for the most part, really, really boring. It was basically a CW show. 80% of it was a CW show. I heard rumors that this was going to be an action-packed episode leading up. And as far as penultimate episodes for seasons go, this hasn't built up anything. The last minute, the last moment, they do something. They get something right. You heard it here, folks. I said they actually did something right because they didn't completely bastardize the lore in one instance. One instance, they didn't do it. You already know what it is. I've already spoiled it, but we're going to get to it eventually in the progression of my talking about this, because let's not be mistaken about anything. This show is still terrible. It's still terrible. It's still jam-packed of intersectional feminism, still jam-packed with agenda. But they got the one thing right that they had to get right. So I give them credit for that. So without further ado, let's go through what happened in the episode, and I will comment as I go and then give my closing comments at the very end. Let's begin. Okay, once again, we begin the show. The pre-title card scene is another moment that happened off camera in the books. That, while of course, while this moment is a magnificently important moment, we never actually see it. We hear about it. We're told about it. But again, this is the show once again wasting time doing things in a certain way. And the way they've done this is the ultimate episode of, oh, the big reveal, who's the Dragon Reborn? But it has been done, you realize now, when you see moments as they lay it out as we go through the episode, they've done it in a really sloppy manner. Really sloppy manner, if you ask me. And we're gonna pinpoint it at the end. But this scene is the beginning of the birth of the Dragon Reborn. His mother, an Aiel maiden of the spear, fighting for her life on the slopes of Dragon Mount while very pregnant. That's a maiden thing. That's out of the books. There's nothing wrong with that. That's straight out of the books. During the war of retribution, the war of vengeance, the Aiel decided to enact upon the king of Kerhanen, when he cut down their gift, the Avenzora sapling they gave him. He cut it down to have it turn into a throne, I think it was. I don't remember. Anyway, he cut it down, and that caused the Aiel to come over and over into there and just trash everything. And then as soon as they got their vengeance, they went back. But this is the end of that battle, the end of that war. And she's on the slopes of Dragon Mount, and she's giving birth. And this is an important scene, but they in my opinion, watching this, they still manage to wham it up. Yes, Maidens of the Spear are freaking badasses. But I can't help but feel like this is still tainted by whamminism. With her fighting the way she does and taking out guys while pregnant. I just feel like it's tainted by intersectional feminism for me. I know I'm watching them ham it up. It's a scene that happened. We don't know how grisly she fought to the last moment. We just know that Tam finds her wounded. But It's whammed up, if you ask me, and it makes me cringe because I know if this had been done in a different era and a different age of pop culture, I wouldn't be thinking about it like this, but I am, knowing that we've seen Wham and Agenda presented throughout this entire series so far. So I think, while cool in a sense, this scene is still whammed up. So, but it ends, of course, with the heron marked blade scene, and you realize now that in this show, the heron marked blade is serving an entirely different purpose than what it means in the books. In this show, it is merely a prop to mark significance. It's not the actual mark of a master swordsman. It isn't, because they don't connect once. The heron marked blade is solely to show that Tam Althor was the one to pick up the newly born Dragon Reborn on the slopes of Dragonmount, to note that it was him there. That's all it was. Now we move on to the show proper, where let's talk about our feelings a lot.
We are not leaving without him.
He made his choice.
Did he? Or did you make it for him?
You know the darkness in him. You know it better than anyone.
All right, when we last left our intrepid companions, they have entered the ways, leaving behind Matt, who stayed behind. Well, right away, as you saw from that introductory clip, the Matt bashing continues. The continued destruction of Matrim Coffin goes on. I think it's a combination of they have never understood his character. Their reimagining of his character was doomed to failure. But at the same time, I think there's a little bit of spite involved in this. That's just my feeling. There's spite involved in Rafe Judkins and the writer's room.
Matt, there's an inherent darkness within him. He was drawn to the dagger, and it was feeding on him as much as he was on it.
That they just wanted to trash the character even more because the actor bailed with 2 episodes to go in the season. That's what I feel. So they spend the first opening moments of this episode Matt bashing. Rand tries to defend him. Oh, we have to go back for him. And they're all talking about how we can't do it. We need the one power. You can't. Loyal's like, you cannot use the one power. It will track Ma Shadan. I mean, it's more lore breaking about how the ways work and about how the opening and closing ways. But eventually, after some more talking and sharing of feelings and lamenting and stuff like that, our group moves on, and we eventually come to, well, first we get some more talky. This is the first moment of the ham-fisted, cringing relationship development of Lon and Nynaeve, and completely in contrast, completely different from how the relationship goes from the books. Lon continues to be out of character. Nynaeve continues to be out of character. Their relationship is growing in the wrong direction and moving way faster. Oh, where do you think we're going by the end of this episode? Yeah, it's gonna happen, folks. After some ham-fisted Lon and Nynaeve moments there, where it's like, oh, we're going closer, Perrin somehow, because of his wolf eyes, sees a broken, basically the equivalent of a signpost, the way markers up ahead, and in that moment, as Loyal's very disturbed, who would do this? No Ogier would dare to do this, and blah, 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 blah. You know, Loyal is here simply to for exposition its key moments. And as soon as we're done with his exposition, he's gone from the episode. As soon as they reach Valdara, he is gone. We don't see him again. We don't know what happened to him, despite the fact that he's supposed to be there all the way to the end. I mean, I'm sure they're going to drag him along, but we don't see him at all. Once he served his exposition purposes, he is no longer useful to this week's plot. So Moraine says, "Okay, we need to calm down here. Don't use the one power, or don't use anything. We have to calm down. And if you hear the voices of the Black Wind, I'm not even tempted to pronounce his name right now. If you hear the voice of Black Wind, remember it tells you lies. Let's take a rest now." Now, I believe in the books, if I remember correctly, this trip lasted like 3 days. and they're in this for a few hours, basically, maybe a day, I think. And they're resting up, and here's more talkie. You got Egwene being the important, the power in the relationship with Rand. She's the one there to comfort him. He looks sad, and for a moment there, you see Perrin watching them, and this becomes significant for stupidity later on, and you wonder, and it's like, oh, are you kidding me? I didn't see that. This cringe, I did not see coming what comes later out of this moment. Anyway, so yeah, we have some more talking about feelings of I love you, I'm here. Well, listen, I love you, but I'm here for you, I care for you, blah, 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 blah. All up until they're just about ready to go, and for just a moment, Lon looks like Lon. Race swap aside, Lon looks like Lon for just a moment. Hood up. Maybe that could be the water cloak. Water cloak. Yeah, water cloak. I said warder. I didn't say warden. I said warder. Damn you people. Warder in his water cloak. And he looks like Lon. And then they're saying something. And then a Trolloc attacks out of nowhere. A single Trolloc attacks. And this is the beginning of the confirmation of the sloppy handling of the reveal of Dragon Reborn. In this one scene, they make it look like Egwene fends him off. Again, they're using the one power in a way that just the wisp does it. Not making a weed or something, just the wisp is the one power. That's how the one power works. The wisps do things. And because the one power was used, here comes the Black Wind, and now they have to run for the Faldara Waygate instead of the one they were going for near the Eye of the World, apparently. I don't know. So they go for Faldara, and they're running, because here comes the Black Wind in very, very cheesy, bad CGI. And they're running, and then they do a very Lord of the Rings moment of crossing a thin little stretch of stone, and then they're under attack. Here comes the Black Wind, and they're not fending off, and it's attacking them, and it's getting in their head, and it's whispering things to them, and and we only hear part of it for one character. We'll come back to that later, but then whammon moment number 1 of the episode, intersectional feminism. While Moiraine is struggling to open the Waygate, Nynaeve marches forward and uses the one power again in a massive globe explosion of light to hold back the Black Wind. And it's just, it's ridiculous because that's not how the one power works. And we haven't even touched on the fact that she can only use it when she's angry. Again, they are glossing over key important aspects of Nynaeve's character. That she can only use the one power when she's angry. So, yeah, she looks angry with that puss on her face there, but we don't know that that's the only time she can use it. And then again, how she's using it, that's not how it works. She wouldn't know how to create a barrier. She wouldn't know the weaves required to do that. She's never seen the weaves required to do that. So, whammon power, Nynaeve saves the day, and they make it through to Faldara. Meanwhile, you missed this. Might have missed this. For a moment, in there's Padan Fain lurking in the ways with no build-up or backstory whatsoever, why he's there, why he's important, who and what he is. Padan Fain, boom, there he is for just a moment. We're going to see him like 2 more times just in passing. It's ridiculous. I mean, no build-up. So here we are. We've arrived in Faldara.
I have no intention of advising you. A lord should protect his land as he sees fit. I am simply here with a warning.
Okay, we are out of the ways. And if for a moment you thought that we were sort of on book track, that we were out of fanfiction land, that maybe, just maybe, they would stick much closer to the source material with these final moments of the season. Oh boy, you're wrong. Oh boy, are you wrong. Stand, you go shove it up your ears. Because what happens in Faldara, all these events in Faldara, not only break characters even further, they break events further. They move the moving of events around now to just shoehorn in characters, ideas, moments, important information. It's, I use the term again, ham-fisted and sloppy. They have spent so much time giving us fan fiction for episode after episode after episode that in actual lore from the books is now just being rushed in there and shoved in there in a very horrific manner in terms of storytelling purposes. But we are we are now in Faldara, and before we even go anywhere, everybody's still having their little post-escape from the waves meltdowns. And you notice everybody seems to have it under control, even though they look haggard, but Rand's got that tear running down his face. Now, with information we receive by the end of the episode, maybe we can understand why that tear is happening. But to have him be the only one, to have shown a man being the only one crying while everybody else, especially Egwene right there, is holding it together, I just see it as more of what this show does best, putting intersectional feminism above everything else, showing that women are strong and men are weak, and men need to be coddled, men need to be treated like women, because they behave like women in this show. But you have a moment, and Egwene saying, "Don't worry, whatever the wind said was a lie." And I mean, at first you're meant to think that Rand is upset because the wind was telling him Egwene doesn't love him, when in fact it may be the big reveal for the end of the show that's why he was upset. But either way, it's all ham-fisted and sloppily done. Sloppily done. So now we're into Faldara. We're moving on in. There's a good shot of it. And of course, as you go through, behold the diversity. Behold the diversity. It's there. It's in your face. You better like it or you're a bigot. We go inside. Lon is greeted with respect and reverence by the Shinerans. And that's book accurate. That's book accurate. I think we get in there, but things quickly again go completely to shit because in the books, and again, oh, look at you non-fan. You have to accept that they have to adapt things to make it work. No, they don't. This change I'm about to describe is completely unnecessary, and it's only done for the purposes of the agenda narrative that the patriarchy is bad and women are great. In the books, Shinerans worship the Aes Sedai. It is shocking to our companions when they arrive in Faldara that the city greets them openly as heroes, as welcome companions, welcome travelers, as opposed to everywhere else they had been in the books where Aes Sedai are spit upon and hated for many reasons. Different reasons, but many reasons all the same. But in the Borderlands, in Shinear, the Aes Sedai are respected and revered because the Borderlands get it. They understand. They understand the threat of the Shadow. So in the books, everybody is welcomed. They are, Moraine's words are held with the proper weight that they should be. But not here in Amazon's Wheel of Time. In Amazon's Wheel of Time, we are greeted to Lord Agamar as a perfectly capable patriarch who's ready to talk down to Aes Sedai. I don't need your advice. Blah, 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 blah. And then Moiraine quickly sets him straight, puts him in his place. And as soon as she reveals the danger coming out of the ways, then suddenly he becomes reverential. He gives her the proper respect, and then suddenly they get all the help they need, as opposed to the books where the Shinerans are ready to do whatever they freaking need, even as we see, as I'll describe later, march to their deaths willingly. So suddenly they're welcome, and of course then we get another shot of Pat and Thane as we go between scenes. As we go between scenes, we get another shot of Pat and Thane who, oh look, Here he is again. Why is Paddon Fane there? Why was he in the waves? We have had zero development of Paddon Fane. Your mystery boxing of him is stupid. Show. We should have seen him as a threat for a long time now. Okay, let's remember the dagger ain't there. The dagger ain't there. So now Paddon Fane is set up to be purely a dark friend. Because the dagger's not with them. The dagger is in Tar Valon. Dagger ain't there. Paddon Fane's story, just like Matt's story, broken. But now, oh, are you ready for more lore breaking? Buckle up.
Why not?
My philosophy as well. My brother begs to differ.
Of course he does. Why would he ask her a question when he already knows all the answers?
So the show wasn't satisfied with taking a dig at Lord Agamar. In that previous scene, they got to take one more dig at him as Moiraine and Agamar's sister are going through the halls. You see in that clip, they take one more dig of, oh, men only know what they think they know. They think they're all right. So what? They did one more dig. One more dig at the patriarchy. Down with the patriarchy. That's not the... That's only the surface level outrage of that clip. I didn't put that the previous line in there because I wanted to bring it up here now. So what are they talking about in the hallways? Are you ready for this? Actual book faithful, are you ready for this? Moiraine wants to see Min.
While I'm here, I thought I might pay Min a visit. I presume she still resides in the city.
That's right, Min. Min, who should have been introduced ages ago. One of the most important characters, not only in the story, but in Rand's life. Stooped in right here at the very end in a bastardized, race-swapped, origin butcher swap. Her origin is completely butchered. Her abilities are not behaving the way they should. And they even butcher her viewings. So, Moiraine wants to go see Min. And as they're traveling to see Min, I'm gonna get into it. I just have to go along with the scene. They're traveling there. They're whining about their feelings in the streets as they're walking there. And for a moment, Perrin sees Paddon Fane, and Nynaeve's like, "Oh, he can't be him. He died." And they pratter, chatter, bitch about their feelings a little more. But then let's get to the meat. I mentioned before that this episode it really destroys a lot of things, and it destroys utterly in a matter of two scenes. This scene and a scene later, they utterly destroy Min. Because this is not Min. Min is not Asian. Min is a white girl, 5'5", short-ish, brown hair that curls at the neck, uncommonly beautiful, likes to dress like a man, was a barmaid for a month, and I just double-checked that. I don't have my copy of Eye of the World anymore. It fell apart literally into 3 pieces. I just went to check the wiki because I wanted to double-check right now the physical description of Min. And in reading that, it showed me that these same pathetic writers decided to read probably the same fandom wikia that I just did, just to double-check my mental information. Min was a barmaid for a month, not a bartender in Faldara. Not a sour-faced, sour attitude, seemingly tired of life bartender on the borderlands. That's this Min. Got tattoos on her chest and everything. Where that comes from, I don't know. That's their retarded reimagining is not even a word. Reimagining of Min. Asian women, hair up like this. Sort of angry. Because everybody seems to know about her vision, her viewing ability. Everybody seems to know she can have viewings. When in the books, only 3 people know she can have viewings. At this point, we only know the 2 people that know. Moiraine and Swan Shanche. But suddenly here, everybody's going to know about her viewings by the end of this episode. And she willingly talks about it. See, again, Min's character, she does not willingly reveal that she can have the viewings. It's one of her most defining character traits that she keeps it a secret from everybody. But here she's just willing to tell people, boom, I have viewings. I can see things. So they get to the bar, and here are the viewings. I'm just quick little showing what they look like, and the accuracy of Perrin's golden eyes, maybe. But then Rand holding a baby. I don't remember Rand viewing, but they butcher the viewings that when looking at Rand and Perrin and Matt, because Matt's supposed to be there when she first sees them all, when looking at the Tavern, she's supposed to be a little shocked because so much shit is going on over them. And she can't look at them for long. She doesn't like them going. And also, the moment she sees Rand, she knows that she's going to love him. That's not part of this thing. Third of allude to something, but it's ridiculous, and we don't know if it'll be her. And if it is, how old is she compared to him? This looks like a chick in her 30s. Min's supposed to be around 18 to 20. An actual 18 to 20-year-old in the books. This chick looks like she's in her 30s. Now, I'm not averse to a younger man getting busy with a MILF or a cougar. Not averse to that. That can be kind of hot. But this is just dumb. Dumb. So you see the viewings, and the viewings are done in a very sloppy, haphazard manner. And we just get out of the scene all confused because it's just been shoved in your face. Suddenly, here's Min in viewings, and she can see things, and Maureen wants to know who the Dragon Reborn is, and she can't really tell, and there's all this crackling between all of them, and he's still alluding to the fact that all four of them there might be Tavern. So it's just more lore butchering. More lore butchering, and you're left shaking your head at the end of the scene because, and now are you ready for the wheel of CW?
The truth?
Stop! Just stop! I am so tired of you two fighting over her like she's something you can win!
Since this show began a few short weeks ago, many detractors, such as myself, have called this a CW show. This scene truly is something you would see on the CW. The amount of emotional breakdown, let's talk, let's fight, let's talk about hooking up, it's ridiculously and it's sad. So the scene begins where, again, we're breaking lore. Moiraine tells everybody there that Min can see visions, and that she's trying to determine which one of them is a Dragon Reborn, and that those of you who aren't the Dragon Reborn are going to die when we go to the Eye of the World. Because remember, in this one, the Eye of the World is the Dark One's prison, not Sheol Ghul. So the Moiraine tells them, you all have to decide, and you have obligatory Nynaeve bitch mode without the lovable parts of Nynaeve. So immediately you're going, oh, Nynaeve, I hate you so much. I mean, it's the bipolar Nynaeve. This show is bipolar Nynaeve. You got bitch mode, and then you have uncharacteristically nice Nynaeve. So here we have bitch mode Nynaeve telling you, wait, son of your lies. So Moiraine basically tells them, you can choose tomorrow. We're leaving tomorrow. You have a choice whether or not to go with me to the Eye of the World, even though 3 of you are gonna die. Because, of course, we're marching off the Dragon Reborn to face the Dark One ahead of the last battle. I mean, it's don't try to think about it too hard. Just don't. All right. So, I'm saying so a lot today, aren't I? Yeah. I'm frazzled. It has me frazzled. Anywho. Moiraine and Lon, the adults in the room leave. The adults in the room leave, and the children begin to have their CW emotional breakdowns. And they're fighting about this and that, and it starts off with them fighting about Matt. And what if we go there? What if Matt's the Dragon Reborn and he's not there and we're all gonna die? I mean, Perrin is basically a mopey, weepy moron like usual, this Perrin. And the girls are trying to be strong while the men are being weepy and dumb. And they keep fighting, and then eventually Rand gets up. I mean, at one point you have Nynaeve and Egwene going, oh, you're strong, and you're strong. We have to be strong. They're like doing powerful whammy stuff while the men are moping. Then Rand gets up and accuses Egwene of never trusting Matt before. You don't know what he's been through. So once again, we're destroying Matt's character for the sake of this reimagining of it all. And suddenly he's yelling at her, and then Perry gets up, and here we go. I didn't see this coming. I did not see this level of cringe coming. Perrin gets up and tells him, "You better take that back. You don't be mean to her." And then, as you saw in the clip, for the transition clip I played, Nynaeve lets it slip that Perrin's always had a hard-on for Egwene. So now Perrin's always been secretly in love with Egwene and pining, and Rand reveals that, wait a minute, you proposed to Layla the very day I got together with Egwene. How could I never have seen this? CW, folks. CW storytelling at its finest. I shit you not. Anybody that says this is good writing, good dialogue, good acting needs to go away. Go away. You're not allowed to watch or comment on television anymore. You have no taste. You have none. Go away. So they fight with each other, and then, Rand storms off, and it's just so, oh God, it's just so bad. Well, then we have Moiraine and Lon having a little moment together, and Moiraine saying, "Oh, they'll come around. Don't worry." And then Lon walks off, and we have more horrible CW. Now we have more out-of-character Lon, as I've been talking about, and more out-of-character Nynaeve. Lon goes for a walk in town, smiling, happy almost. Sorry, I got hiccups. Okay. Sorry about that. Lon goes to visit old family friends, but Nynaeve follows him. He knows she's following him. And here we have this entire scene. And of note also, remember, note the diversity. Note the diversity. Note it. Love it. Live it. If you don't, you're a bigot. And you have this whole manufactured scene. This is fan fiction at its finest. Bad fan fiction. Of Lon and Nynaeve emotionally bonding with Lon's old family friends, and she's so beautiful. Ugh. I mean, it goes through the thing, and then they're back in the keep. I told you this was coming. And then it's the woman taking the lead again. Once again, intersectional feminism. And not only is it completely out of character, completely wrong, and way, way, way ahead, because Nynaeve would not do this. Nynaeve is a traditional woman who comes from a traditional world. She would not walk into Lon's chambers and essentially throw herself at him for the effing. That's right. Boffing ensues. We don't see it, of course. It's done off camera. Boffing ensues. A passionate kiss that shouldn't happen. I mean, Lon does everything he can for books on end to push Nynaeve away. He does not smile. He does not welcome her love like this. He wants it, but he is stoic. He is hard as the steel of his blade. He pushes her away, and they pine for each other for a couple of years in the story before they're finally allowed to be together. They don't just F right off the bat because, that Nynaeve wouldn't do that. Lon wouldn't do that. These people writing this show, this is what they think romance is. This is what they think powerful, emotional, bonding romance is. They don't understand that this is not how you do it. They think you CW it up where you have a couple little forced cringe scenes and a few days later have a moment and then straight to the effing. Straight to the effing. No buildup. No nothing. And I mean, Lon and Nynaeve's romance is a romance. It is a star-crossed romance for a lot of the books until finally they get to it. Now, everybody in this entire series, everybody has different romances, different ways. But it works depending on the situation, and there's actual energy, there's actual buildup. Every single scene for the past 4 episodes have been nothing but ham-fisted, enforced, creating scenes that didn't happen in order to generate a CW F romance. That's all this is. All this is. And it does a disservice to the characters, and it does a disservice to the story. And it's only about to get worse.
I waited in my room for an hour for you to come and apologize.
I found through hard-won experience that when you're actually ready to talk, you find me.
All right, here we are, the final stretch, the last 16 minutes or so of the episode. And all right, here we go. We're gonna plow through this one like Rand plows Egwene in another scene. And oh God, it's so wrong. It's so dumb. All right, this scene opens. We are Lon and Nynaeve are doing the horizontal ugly, and Rand is practicing his arrows. He has since stormed off from the last couple scenes. He is practicing shooting some arrows, and for a moment here, you get a whiff of something significant, something that should have been significant since the very beginning of the story. How Rand finds a sort of centering when he is using the bow and arrow. How he was taught to go outside himself and push all things aside and go into what he calls the void when he's using a bow and arrow, and he never misses when he does that. And that's, you sort of see that here, and you're going to see it again in a few minutes. But it's sort of, suddenly you realize, okay, 7 episodes in, and Rand is getting attention. 7 episodes in, and Rand is getting attention because guess what? The mystery box is about to be opened. The mystery is about to be over. So here comes Egwene, as the transition clip showed, being all whammony. And, they have this thing, and then, of course, it all melts down to him basically saying, you fulfill your dream of being an Aeseta, and I'll be your warder. Because every Aeseta is warder. And then, I love you. No, no, sorry, I love you, but I need you. And then, they smooch. And then you cut to a scene where they've just been effing. And I'm skipping over the Lon Nynaeve stuff because it's just more Lon Nynaeve schmaltz. So, Rand and Egwene have been effing, and Rand wakes up in the middle of the night. And suddenly, here come the pieces falling into place. Here are events that should have been shown to us in episode 1. Which they didn't do because of their admitted desire to create a mystery of who the Dragon Reborn is. It is to be a mystery, otherwise the normies won't be interested and they won't watch. They can't be just told who it is. You need to wonder. This archaic idea of how to tell a story in Hollywood. These people are retarded. They're dumb. They're pure dumb. So you're mystery. So now we get images of Rand throughout the story. We get the moment that many people said should have happened, where Tam starts to ramble during his fever dream, way back during the Trolloc attack on Edmund's Field, of how he picked up a baby at Dragonmount. Now that gets introduced. Because now the mystery is ready to be solved. Now we see that through, even though we saw the scenes, and I've said it many times because I questioned whether or not they were going to actually go for it. Now we see that Rand has been channeling all along in a couple of moments. When he breaks down the door, he was channeling, even though they didn't show it in that scene, because if they did, it would have just, there's no mystery anymore. We can't show that any women or Matt or Perrin could be the Dragon Reborn. No, they purposefully hid it, even though in that scene, it's the same scene they replay here. They just replay it, now suddenly add in the wisps of the One Power. Because that's how the One Power works in this show. It just wisps around you when you do shit. You know, it's... Ugh. Then they show that in the ways, It wasn't Egwene's one power wisp that did it. It was Rand's one power wisp that knocked the Trolloc over the edge. We discover that when the Black Wind was whispering in her ears, it was telling Rand, "You're the Dragon Reborn. You've always known it." How have we always known it? They have gone out of their way to avoid pointing the arrow of Dragon Reborn at Rand. They have pointed it at everybody else in the show except Rand. Go rewatch 1 through 6. Every episode, not once is it even hinted that for the uninitiated that Rand is the Dragon Reborn. Not once. Bad storytelling. This is what I've been saying since the beginning of this review. Bad, sloppy storytelling. And that's why Rand was probably crying when they escaped the waves, because he's accepting the truth. Of course, this version of Rand is coming up to the conclusion in the completely wrong and out of bounds way that actual Rand in the books does. So now Rand scampers off into the night, goes to see Min, and now we get Min's broken origin.
I saw a baby born on the slopes of Dragon Mount.
Rand and Min, their encounter here is a bastardization of their relationship. It's a bastardization of Min's backstory. And it's a bastardization of how Rand discovers he's the Dragon Reborn. They've reimagined how Min's visions are the key to it all. Discovering, and that's all this. That's the only reason they've put Min here and now in this part of the story, so that she can give her vision. So what happens? Rand goes to the inn because he knows she has visions, because that's how it works in this version. And she relents and sits down and has a drink with him. And it's just this terrible conversation where she butchers her own backstory. In this version, she was a wretch in the streets of Tar Valon, homeless, until Moiraine found her and discovered her viewings and abilities, and then has made use of her and blah, blah, blah. No family, no parents, no nothing. That's not how it worked. Min's backstory, born in Barillon. Barillon. And that's where she was raised and lived. And that's where in the books, Moiraine and group arrived in the books months and weeks earlier, where the viewings happened. And she first met Rand and knew right away they were destined to be lovers. But nope. In this one, all she sees about Rand and this and that, and they throw in there for you stupid cognitive dissonance stands who grasp on any little thread of remotely Robert Jordan Wheel of Time. You'll have 3 women love you. The way they do it is just so dumb. It's just so dumb. And here it is, thrown out there. Whether or not she'll be one of them, who knows? I hope not, because these two have zero chemistry on camera. Zero chemistry. Nobody in this show has chemistry together. Nobody. Anyway, so she bows out visions, and he's asking her, "Am I the Dragon Reborn?" And then Min tells the story about how when she was in Tar Valon as a wretch living there, she saw someone come through and saw the vision of the Dragon Reborn being born on the slopes of Dragon Mount. That's not how Min's visions work. Min's visions, she sees images above people's heads, items, artifacts, things that are just supposed to give her sort of an understanding. She doesn't always understand them. Sometimes she does right away. Sometimes it takes time, but images. She doesn't see full-on visions. That's not how the viewings work. But in this one, that's how they work, because they have to figure out some way to reveal that Rand is the Dragon Reborn. Surprise! We've avoided giving Rand any character development for 6 episodes. And now suddenly we shtup in the last 15 minutes of episode 7. We shtup in a bunch of stuff that if it actually been revealed throughout the season, it would have been obvious he was a Dragon Reborn. Just like in the books, it was always obvious he was a Dragon Reborn. that Matt and Perrin in the books were not the Dragon Reborn. And women couldn't be the Dragon Reborn in the books because the one power in the books is divided into Satan and Satyr. It's not just one omnipresent force that both male and females draw upon, but in this version it is. In this version, anybody could have been the Dragon Reborn, and if you had given the clues as I recounted in the last segment, it would have been painfully obvious. But no, let's not give Rand any character development in these last couple moments. Let's bastardize Min and use her abilities just so we can have our big reveal. Hooray! Rand is the Dragon Reborn. Let's all have happy thoughts and blah, blah, blah. Stupid, ham-fisted, bad, sloppy storytelling. It's why I've been saying that all review. This is not how you tell a story, and it's especially not how you tell Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time. Moving on, now we go into the tried and true, shamefully sad storytelling, visual storytelling tactic of events happening at the same time, but oh, you reveal they're not actually happening at the same time. While the others all gather in Nynaeve's room, others being Egwene, who gives Nynaeve a little, you got lucky last night moment, lame humor in her room. Then Lon shows up and reveals that, oh, Moiraine has masked our bond again. And at the same time, you thought that Rand was about to knock on the same door. But in fact, it was hours before knocking on Moraine's door, telling her it was me, just like I revealed in the first clip of the review. So then, unlike in the books, Rand and Moiraine go off on their own into the Blight, which I admit the Blight looks interesting. It's not a bad representation of the Blight. They go off in the Blight to the Eye of the World, which is now the prison of the Dark One, not Sheol Ghul. And here we are. The events leading up to the climax of the story are completely different than what they were in the actual book, Eye of the World.
What is that?
The Blight. We have to go through it to get to the Eye of the World.
I said it at the beginning of the review that they did one thing right. They did the one thing they had to do right. And check my other reviews. I thought there was a 50-50 chance that they wouldn't make Rand al'Thor, the Dragon Reborn. Because of the way they were playing their stupid mystery game, I actually thought there was a chance they were going to make Egwene or Nynaeve the Dragon Reborn. I really did. But you see, this shows you the weakness of SJW woke narrative agenda-driven storytelling. They created this lame-ass mystery for the sole purpose of virtue signaling powerful women. That's it. And powerful women of color to boot. For their narrative that patriarchy sucks and men shouldn't save the world because men destroyed the world in this version of Amazon's Wheel of Time. So for their sake of their mystery, they didn't do any character development for Rand for 7 episodes right up until now. Last 15, 16, 17 minutes of the episodes is the most we've seen of Rand consecutively in the entire season. Everything else has always been Egwene or Nynaeve. Go back and watch it all. That's how it's been. Narrative was greater than storytelling. Making sure your agenda, your ideology was forefront. Couldn't have the white boy be the hero. Had to make you think, had to show that, look at us. We're virtue signaling that a woman could be it. Look how powerful the women are. But they did what they should have done. Excuse me. They made Rand the Dragon Reborn. Because Rand is the Dragon Reborn. Rand is the central figure of this entire saga. And should have been from the very beginning. But nope, ideology must trump actual storytelling. And that was proven throughout this entire episode. They don't care about the story. They don't care about Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time. They wouldn't have destroyed Min. I mean, race swap aside, because I know you stands, I go, oh, you're a bigot because you don't want her to be Asian. She's not Asian. She's a 5'5" white girl who wears boots with 3-inch heels and likes to wear men's clothing. The tomboy. Got a twinkle in her eye and a smile on her lips. Not a sour puss who's tired of the world. They would have made Shinair a patriarchy instead of the we welcome you, 8th Sedai, because we revere and we trust you kingdom that it actually is. You get what I'm saying here? They wouldn't have continued the red herrings of could Nynaeve be the Jagmeet Morn right up until the end. Red herrings. That it could still be someone else, not Rand. Let's destroy backstories. Let's continue to dig dump after dump after dump on Matt's character. Oh, I forgot at one point. I forgot this part earlier. Sorry, I just remembered that. That Moraine orders a message sent that the Red Aja go capture Matt. Well, there you go. There is a complete fabrication and fan fiction story. So now we see where Matt's arc is going in season 2. He's going to be hunted by the Red Aja because Moraine thinks he can channel still or something, some ridiculous thing, because he's got darkness in him. Matt Cawthon, lovable scamp, little bit of a roguish Matt Cawthon, is hunted by Red Aja. His story is done. His story is broken. Whatever happens next season is not Matt's story. And what are they going to do with the rest of this season at this point? Where are they going to go in the final episode? Right now, I'm putting it right here. We're going to see they are going to bastardize the end of the Great Hunt, where they're going to have Rand fight. I think they're going to have Rand fight Baal Alzamon instead of the 2 other Forsaken that are supposed to show up. Remember, in the books, and again, in the books, the Shienarans are part of the whole plan to allow them to get to the Eye of the World, to give them a chance to get to the Eye of the World and stop the Dark One from poisoning the Eye of the World, which is what he's trying to do in the books. It's not his prison. He's just trying to poison it and get what's there, get the powerful item that's there. The Shienarans in the book are willing participants to go out and march against an army of Trollocs that is on the way, to be a distraction so that Moraine, Rand, and the rest of the crew can get to the Eye of the World and have their, what ends up being a pretty little brutal confrontation with 2 Forsaken. Are we going to get that confrontation? At this point, I don't know. I really do not know. I mean, will they actually have Rand be a hero at the end? Do his heroic moment? Are we going to see Green Man or Green, as some have already said in my comments, Green Ma'am? The Eye of the World is supposed to be the Dark One's prison in this abomination. So I do not know. The Shienarans are not involved. There's no armies. Everybody's like mine. I really don't know what's going to happen. I cannot predict. I predict it may be some all right, my guess. I'm gonna theorize here. What we may get at the end is some bastardization combination of Eye of the World and Great Hunt. Those 2 endings. We might get something like that. I don't know if we're gonna get Baal Zaman. What is it, Balathamel or Agranor? Agranor. Those I know the 2 Forsaken there. One of them is they're both really nasty. Both really nasty. Couple nasty individuals. I don't know what we're going to get from that. I really don't. Because this whole thing, it's off the rails. It's off the rails. And I really don't think they can have Rand be a hero. I don't know if their ideology will let them have Rand be the hero in the end of the book here. If it won't be Moraine doing something. Maybe something from another book. Like maybe instead of a couple books from now, maybe she use Balefire now instead of when she does later on. I don't know. I really don't know. This show is terrible. And if you like it, if you like it, go ahead and like it. But you're the one with the problem where you feel the need to attack those of us who are hating it. We don't go after you. You notice you're the ones who come here. We don't go seeking you out. You seek us out because you're threatened by the truth of the fact that this show is not Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time. All right, I'm done. Thank you for watching this review. If you liked it, well, then a like would be much appreciated. If you're new here, I invite you to subscribe to me here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Odyssey. I'm here to be straightforward with you guys. I'm not here to be everybody's friend. I'm here to tell you the truth based on facts and logic. Let you make your decision after that, but I'm here to earn your trust and support by behaving with that kind of integrity. Hit the notification button, share my video if you like what I'm preaching, and please comment. I like all comments. You don't have to agree with me. If you're a sane, normal individual, we can have a different opinion, maybe have a conversation and still find common ground and get along. We are not stans or SJWs who are vile. You spew the most vile, horrific things in the comments of my videos and other people's videos on here, on Twitter, wherever. You're the ones spewing the hate, not us, you. We're not calling you names. You're the ones who arrive and call us names. You're cowards behind keyboards. And I really don't care what you think, and I never will. The fact that you want me to care so much, that's a you problem, not a me problem. And as soon as you realize that you are powerless, and when we all start to realize that and don't pay you the attention you want, you will be revealed for the tiny, insignificant, pathetic individuals that you are. Thank you again for watching this review. See you at the final. Howdy, y'all. The first chapter of my fantasy novel, Guardian of Innocence, is now available for free. Click the link in the description below and join me in an old-school good versus evil story where Cole Lares, a disillusioned mercenary, suddenly finds himself dropped into the middle of a destiny he never asked for as the protector of Jania Sarine, a blacksmith's daughter who may hold the answers to finally stopping a millennia-old threat to the world of Rosetta. Cole's perceptions of love, family, trust, loyalty, as well as his very beliefs in fate versus free will shall be tested as he struggles to keep Jania safe from the minions of the dreaded Zabor Tal, former champion of the gods and now ruler of the long-forgotten Yis Empire. Click the link below, enjoy the first chapter, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and help it grow so that I can bring you the full story in the near future. Thank you, and enjoy the video. Thanks for watching, everyone. I don't do Facebook. I will never do Twitter. If you want to reach out to me, email me at therennerd@gmail.com. I'm on Getter now, at therennerd, the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can also follow me on Odyssey at The Renaissance Nerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.